Hello, beautiful people. It's that time of year when people are ready to move on to new relationships and do spring cleaning on their relationships. Spring is coming up really, really soon. And there are a lot of people who do spring cleaning in their relationships. So people are getting dumped and broken up with by text and social media. And perhaps the most painful thing is ghosting. You may have heard some new terms like breadcrumbing, like slow fade, like benching. All of those things signal that there is a disinterest in the person that you are talking to or dating. Ghosting by far is the most painful. So what I share here is just my thoughts, my perspective, my opinion, and my advice. I am not a licensed counselor or therapist. However, I am a certified life coach. If you would like a free consultation, please feel free to reach out to me at my website on therelationshipguru.org. Now, keep in mind, we're just a few short weeks away from spring, and there are a lot of people who do spring cleaning with their relationships as well. So ghosting by far, from what I hear from my viewers, from my readers, is by far the most painful of them all. Yes, ghosting happens. And I get more questions about ghosting than anything. Getting ghosted and doing the ghosting. Ghosting hurts. It is annoying. It is unnecessary. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that it's sad. And it is perfectly normal to feel sad, to feel hurt, to feel self-conscious when this happens. But keep in mind, you're not alone. 25% of people admitted that they have been ghosted by a partner. And it is not uncommon. It is not only common in relationships, it is common in friendships also. 1/3 out of 1,300 people surveyed admitted that they have ghosted a friend. Now, first recognize that if you are getting ghosted over and over again, it is definitely something to recognize and look at. And it may not be about you. First, recognize if ghosting is actually happening. Why do I say that? Things happen to people and things happen to people's devices. People get sick. Their phones break, they lose connection, their phones are not working. So however, things happen. But once you realize that you have been ghosted, you often ask the question, why do people ghost? There is no single reason in my mind as to why people ghost, which can make it all the more irritating. But I want to make it clear in every case, it is not about you. It is about that other person's poor ability to communicate. So here are a few reasons why ghosting may happen. The convenience of technology. Technology allows us to hide on the other end of the phone. We oftentimes forget that there is another person, an actual human on the other end of that phone. And if we were face to face, you wouldn't leave questions unanswered as we do with the technology that we have. So you wouldn't normally walk away from someone in the middle of a conversation like you can do with technology. So secondly, feelings can definitely be hard to read with text. And text messages have no emotions. They have no feelings. And so some people have used technology as an excuse for ghosting people. However, it is not an excuse for poor home training. So some of us have lost our sight of home training. Next is the fear of hurting you. All common reasons people ghost each other is because they don't want to hurt another person's feelings. Maybe there's no chemistry, there's no connection, any of that. Keep in mind, no one is responsible for your feelings, just as you are not responsible for anybody else's feelings. Next is low emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It's the ability to use words to describe your feelings and your situations. So some people don't have high emotional intelligence, and they have a hard time using the words, finding the words to express what is going on with them. And so they get frustrated and they get embarrassed, and then they don't know how to respond, so they don't respond at all. So past experiences is next on my list. Someone who's experienced anxiety may worry about how a relationship is going to turn out, and so they cut off the relationship before it gets started because of past trauma and triggers, and they are still recovering from a previous relationship. So those things can cause anxiety and self feelings and make us less sensitive to other person's feelings. So they may feel that they are getting too close to you and they shut themselves down. Low self-esteem is next on my list. If someone doesn't believe that you deserve them and they deserve you, they may self-sabotage. It is important to remember that ghosting says more about the person doing it than vice versa. It often displays their lack or weaknesses in character and their ability, again, to communicate. So lastly, I want to emphasize that the most important point here is that ghosting creates unhealthy relationship habits. When a person has shown you that they will ghost you, why would you want to be in a relationship with them anyway? You know what I always say about my flags. If a flag is pink, trust me, pink comes before red. In other words, a flag turns pink before it turns red. So again, what I share here is just my thoughts and my perspectives. It's my advice and my guidance. I am not a licensed counselor or therapist. However, I am a certified life and relationship coach. Feel free to reach out to me through my website at therelationshipguru.org. Next week, I want to offer you some tips on how to handle being ghosted. So until next week, ciao for now.